This mark contains pencils and markers. What if I say you to identify a pencil that I have used? Well, you can put out each and every pencil and test it one by one. That is a cumbersome task because you have to go through each and every pencil one by one and figure out that is it matching with the requirement or not. So to overcome this scenario, what we can do is we can separate the lead pencil into a separate jar. We can separate the pens into separate jar and markers in a separate jar. So practically, I can say we can categorize these things into some different jar, or I can say we can generalize these things. Well, this problem not only arises when we are playing with pencils, it can also arise when we are playing with programming languages. That's why programming languages provide us generics to handle these kind of situations. Let's jump to the computer screen to understand why programming languages introduce generics and what is the purpose. We are going to learn these concepts in detail in this video. Okay, so we are on our main screen, and you can see I have right here generics definition, or you can say the concept of generics. It is the main purpose of generics is to provide type safety and to resolve typecasting problems. Now, what is type safety? Type safety is when you can only add a unique data type or unique type of data in a collection or in an array. Well, in array, it should always be a unique type of data. What I mean is actually, let's say, create a string array equal to new string. Now here we can only add string values in the array because it is a string type of array. So it bounds you to add only string values. It will not accept an integer value. If we try to add array of 1 equal to, let's say, 10, then it actually shows us a compile time error. Let me create a public static void main so we can use this. Now, if you see that we are getting compile time error, that it says that you are providing integer but the required type is string. So it bound us to provide only string type of data. This is type safety, that it actually provide you a type safety on string. So if I add string value here, we can add it, we can use it. But when we are working on stream of data, we cannot use arrays because arrays are of specific length. You cannot extend the length of array on a runtime. You can do it using some logic, but that will be a complex logic, and sometimes we are not writing efficient algorithms, so it can also provide a complexity issues. So Java provides you lists and collections, actually collection framework. You can use collection framework for that. But the problem with collection is, let's say I'm creating a list. Mm, let me add import java.util.list. And let me add here list. New array list. Now, in this array list, the problem. Okay. Now, in this list, what I can add everything. I can add list dot add one, list dot add. That's any string value. Any string value. I can add list dot add, let's say, true boolean value. So it will not actually bounds me to use a specific type of values. I can add even string, even integer, even boolean. It doesn't provide any type safety. So collection framework doesn't provide any type safety. And now let's say if I want to give this value to a specific string, what should I have to do? For string array, what I have to do is, let's say I create string array value is equal to uh, array of 1 semicolon. Yeah, it will work. Now this is typecasting, that we don't need to cast this value into a string because it is already a string value. But what if I have to do string list value equal to list dot get 0? Now it will give me a compile time error here that I cannot write object into string. So I have to do casting here. This is the second issue that we are getting on collection framework while using it. So how we can resolve these two issues at runtime, because if we go with this one, we have to face multiple issues, like someone add different values, our program can crash, and how we can avoid this problem. So for this, Java provides us the generics concept. I already told you the main purpose of generics is to provide type safety and to resolve typecasting problem. Now how generic works? Let's say I am writing here again a list of string list equal to new array list, and here we go. Now in this list I cannot add integer. In this list I cannot add booleans. In this list I cannot add booleans, I cannot add integer, I cannot anything else except strings. If I add string here, boom, it works. So this is the type safety that generics provide us. This is a generics format. Generics provide us this type safety, and we don't need to actually bother about these values that we are not required. Now the second thing is, now let's say I am creating a string variable value 3 is equal to this list dot get 0, and boom, it works. We don't need to do this typecasting. Before we were using this casting syntax that actually cast the value into a string value, but here we don't need to do that because this string is handling this issue and we don't need to do it explicitly. So this is the benefit of using generics, these two problems that generics resolved, and that generics help us to resolve this problem, and we don't need to bother about this while we are writing programs. So this is a basic overview of generics. Now let's try to learn about, can we make our own generics, or what is generics actually. So first of all, the first thing is how we can write a generics. Let's say, as I said, list of, let's say string, this time I will go for boolean. Now here I'm getting an error. Okay, it is because I don't know why my IDE always load this AWT. Okay, now you see it works perfectly, but the basic thing is that we can always use reference type here, the non-primitive types. We cannot go for integer, it will give us error. We cannot go for, let's say, float, it will give us error. We have always used non-primitive or reference types. So yeah, it will work now. You see, if maybe you are in an interview and interviewer made this silly mistake like this, and he will say, what is the problem in this? And you have to figure out that you cannot use this primitive data types here. You have to change it with non-primitives or reference types, a wrapper class, or even a class. Yeah, even a class. What do I mean by that? Let's say, let me create a class, class dummy class. Here we go. And I can use this as a generic dummy class. So this list only contains the dummy class type of data. So we can use here only objects and reference types, not any primitive types. This is the first thing. The second thing is how we can create our own generics. Let's say this is a dummy class and we want to make it a generic class. Then we just need to add this syntax here. It becomes a generics. Yeah. Now what we can do is we can say s out void print s out e dot a dot a class. And let's check what it will do. Let me create this dummy class of string to new dummy class, and what is saying, okay, it's a we are actually using the main method. It's a static one, so we have to make this class static. Let me copy this class outside this class because I have made this inside the class. That's why we are getting this problem. Yeah. Now if I do s dot print a, let me run this program and see what will we get. So we get the class lang dot string because we are passing string value here. And let's say if I pass 1 and I made it integer, so you see class lang integer. So it means that this class is now generic and I can use it with any type like integer and string and whatsoever. Now there is again a problem. Let's say we are creating a generic class and we say void add and we say t of a comma t of b, and here we say s out a plus b. Now we are getting error here. It will say that we cannot use arithmetic operations with this t. Why? Because we don't know it is integer, it is string, it is boolean or whatsoever. We can only use plus with integer variables. What we have to do here is we have to tell this class, or we have to tell this generics that this generic should only be specific type of number. Maybe it's float, it's integer, it's short, it's long, but it will not be string, it will not be boolean. How we can do that? When we want to achieve functionality of some other class, what we have to do in Java, we just extend that class, right? We can do the same thing with generics as well. Let's say extend number. Now number is actually an abstract class in Java that contains or that represents all the numeric values like byte, float, double, integer, long, and short. Now if I go back here and I say a dot double value b dot double value, boom, it works now. But here if I say string, it will give me error because string is not a type of number. It says string is not a type of number. You have, because this class, this generic only accept numbers. If I say okay float, boom, it works. If I say okay double, boom, it works. If I say okay integer, boom, it's worked. Now what I have to do is, let me show you. A is 1 and b is 32. Okay, let me run this program. You see 33.0, it added both of these. How we are achieving this? Using this number. Now you may understand what is the concept of extends. Now when using extend, it means that we are extending with the class. And when using implements, it means that we are using interfaces. So we have an interface runnable. Will it work? No, it will not work. Why it will not work? Why it is giving us error? Let me remove it. Why it is showing me error? Because we can, in generics, we cannot use word implements. We only have to use extends. Yeah, it is working now. So the basic concept is that in generics, we cannot use implements. When we are writing like this, we only use extend. Now, what if we want to add multiple classes? Let's say uh, number and runnable. Yeah, the both will work. Now, both type of um, initializations are acceptable here. We can add multiple, like we can also add, let's say, main class, or we can add multiple as per your wish using the end variable. This is the second thing and very important thing you have to know about this. Now, after this, we also have a wildcard in generics. Now, let's say you want to print an array list, but you are not bounding the user. You don't want to bound user for specific type of array list. You said that I'm going to create a method that print every type of array list. So let's say in our dummy class, I write void print, and here I say array list, and, here I say out a. This array list print every type of array list. This method prints every type of array list. But there is one more and accurate way of doing this is using a wildcard character. What is wildcard character? Wildcard means any type of array list here, or any type of generics. Let's say how we can do that is just adding question mark. Yeah, it is that any type of array list we can pass here. To prove this, let me make dummy class, and here I say, here I will create an array list of, let's say, string equal to new array list, and here I say s dot add anything, and here I say dm dot print. You see, we can do that, and if I run it, boom, it works. Now the same thing, if we want only specific only array lists that only related to numbers, we just need to add extends number. Okay, now we cannot do this. You see, we are getting error here because this is a string. If I say integer, and look, it works now because it is a type of number. And same if we have an other class, you can say customer, and we say this array list is of type customer, and we are not adding anything at the moment. We cannot do this because it's a type of number. If I say only customer type of array list can add, then we can use this customer type of array list or its child types of array list. What do I mean by child types? Let's say if I do runnable, we're getting error, but if I do runnable, it works. What if I do thread? It still works because runnable is a parent class of thread. So that's why we can pass the child class in a parent class. So that's why it's working. This is the wildcard, and we are actually enforcing, or we are making boundaries that not this wildcard is not related to everyone. This is related to runnable or its child classes. This is related to customer or its child classes. So I hope you understand the concept of generics a bit. It is a very detailed topic. This is just a brief video. If you like the video, just give me thumbs up and comment out your questions. I can make it in more detail if you want. I will see you in the next video.